Toronto Maple Leafs. Thomas Greiss back in net for the Islanders. Stopped 19-24 in Detroit on Friday and got a rare night off on Saturday. And he is ready to go. Posing him is Freddie Anderson on the other side. His next win will be the 100th in his career. He gave up 5 in their last game against Boston, but that was a 6-5 victory for the Toronto Maple Leafs. They snapped a 3-game skid. They've given up at least 5 goals in each of their last 3 games. And of course, Matty Martin is back in Brooklyn.
Yeah, he took a pretty good punch last night. Glad to see that he's okay. That was a heavyweight battle with him and McQuaid. But Billy Smith used to say, I don't care how many goals I let in, did I win?
And Freddie Anderson picked up the victory. Again, 6-5 was the final score against Boston. And now the Maple Leafs, they fight for position in terms of playoffs with the Islanders as well. But a win today, and they could jump over Boston into the 3rd spot in the Atlantic Division and leave all the wild card picture behind them.
Now they have 5 games in hand on Boston, so they got some room for error, but they're not looking to give away anything. Games in hand don't mean a doggone thing, Brendan, if you don't win them.
Icing call here. The starting lineups are brought to you by Infinity. As you see, the head coach, 53-year-old Mike Babcock, in his 2nd season with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Last season, last in the Eastern Conference, and right now, as we just mentioned, are knocking on the door of being in the 3rd spot in the Atlantic Division.
Yeah, and he's done a terrific job. I mean, he's told them right off the bat it's going to be a 5-year plan, so he might be a little bit ahead, but he knows exactly what he wants to get done, and he's moving about his business rather nicely. He's got these guys in a playoff position. Toronto's a little bit excited for the first time in a long time.
Here's John Tavares coming in across the line, moving to the slot, left it on for Lee. Lee spins it back, and Bailey able to collect it. Hickey was crashing to the goal. Pelech shot in on net, and Skip just wide on the rebound. Grabbed along the boards, Tavares and Pelech combined to hold it in. Pelech got it again. His shot will drift down to the boards as Morgan Riley deals with it. Up the wall, Pelech one more hold, but he can't catch back up to it as Brown put it into his skates, and then Austin Matthews forced it on, got it back, and that one in on net. First glove save of the game made by Thomas Greiss.
Pretty good wrist shot there by Matthews. Looked like it almost surprised Thomas Greiss a little bit. That's his first shot, so it wasn't an overly difficult shot, but certainly had to be ready for it. Matthews is a goal scorer, make no mistake about it. He's big, he's strong, 6'2". And a lot of rookies come into the league, they're 19 years of age, they weigh 170 pounds. This guy weighs a solid 200, and he's got the size and the strength to go with it as a 22, 23-year-old. He'll still get bigger, but right now he's okay.
It's funny you mentioned 170 pounds. That's what number 16 in white weighs in at these days. Mitch Marner, rookie, leads the team in points as Strome fires one in after his own rebound. He scores! Ryan Strome followed up his own shot and opens the scoring just a minute and 23 into this one.
Good pace for the neutral zone with Ryan Strome catching that pass from the winger. I believe it was Beauvillier gives him notch. Brock Nelson, a nice little chip pass cross ice, and there goes Ryan Strome, and he stays right with it. Anderson's not able to handle that shot. It's down low, tough place to handle that puck. Still, play it off the pads and go ahead and see if you can't get a rebound. Good solid shot. Anderson doesn't do a good job in controlling the rebound. Ryan Strome does an excellent job driving to the net and making sure he gets the rebound. And the Islanders are off to the kind of start they envisioned, a quick lead.
And Ryan Strome is off and running as well. Now a 4-game point streak with 2 goals and 3 assists over that time. And Matty Martin comes and says hello to Thomas Greiss.
Well, you and I talked about the need for that second line to get themselves going with Beauvillier, Strome, and Brock Nelson to put some offense on the board. There's another look, and you can see Anderson followed it all the way. He just didn't trap it, and Ryan Strome with a little left pump fist gets on the scoreboard. But that's an important element for the Islanders to get that tertiary scoring. They've had a pretty good scoring from the Tavares line. They need someone else on a more consistent basis, and it looks like Brock Nelson, maybe his line can provide it.
The Islanders, in their back-to-back losses, have scored 4 goals in each of those losses. Lost in regulation on a fluky goal in Detroit, and then lost in overtime a couple of nights ago after John Tavares had his stick broken in overtime and made it a 3-on-2 inside the Islanders' end.
Now, Casey Cizikas on our bench here talked about the need to play a better defense to limit the opposition to its quality chances.
Islanders picked up 3 third-period goals against the Maple Leafs back on October 30th. Added up to a 5-1 win for New York that day. As Matt Martin comes after DeHaan. And Nahan worked it behind the net for Seidenberg, and he is hit by Nazem Kadri. Cizikas tried to get it around Nylander. But a hat trick on Saturday in Boston, fires over, and that one deflected away. Is a pretty good look there from Komarov. Charging up the wall is Shane Prince. He'll backhand it deep, send Kuhlman after it. Anderson out of his goal to play it and does. Cizikas quickly on Polak, but it's worked ahead for Kadri. Hickey had pinched in 2-on-1. Nylander and Komarov. Nylander delays. Now he goes across, and Pelech got a piece of that one to deny Komarov.
That's one thing the Islanders cannot do is get trapped. Thomas Hickey in nowhere land and gives the Toronto Maple Leafs a solid 2-on-1 with Komarov and Nylander.
Strome from Nelson and Boychuk at 123 as the Islanders ahead here early. Only 3 total shots in the game. 2 of them belong to the Islanders, and they were both Strome. His first shot was stopped, and he put his rebound right back into the net as this one is covered up by Greiss.
Good smart play by Johnny Boychuk. Nowhere to go, just in front of his goaltender. So says, here, let's just take a little face-off right here. Nylander, lots of patience, hangs on. You can see Pelech goes down, tries to make a tough pass. There's Nylander as he's got his left winger right there. Just slide it into the crease area and see if Komarov, Leo that is, can tap it in. No such luck for the Maple Leafs. But the Islanders give up a crucial 2-on-1. Not a good thing at any time, particularly against this Toronto Maple Leaf team, who are a very opportunistic group.
And the puck was on the stick of a guy who just scored 3 goals on Saturday in Boston. His first career hat trick. Tavares Bangle got his own rebound. That one off the crossbar from Josh Bailey.
Anderson looks very, very shaky early in this game, not handling the puck very well. Islanders would do well to keep getting that puck towards the net. There's the Islanders on a good forecheck. Anders leaves in there quickly. Tavares gets it towards the net, but you can see Anderson just kind of kicks it away. Doesn't really control the rebound. The puck is bouncing loose, and Josh Bailey comes in and rings it off the crossbar. So the Islanders could have got a quick second goal and really put the Maple Leafs in a hole. Get the puck towards Anderson. Looks like he's struggling just a little bit.
Josh Bailey, who's got 4 goals in his last 5 games, went through a stretch where the points were coming, but they were all assists, and rarely were we talking about him in that area of the ice. He has been all over the net here over his past week or so.
Shooting the puck a whole lot more.
Turnover in the slot, and that one found the glass. Pretty good opportunity, though, for Connor Carrick. That one is wide, and then hopped right back in front, and DeHaan escorts it away from danger. Off the glass, Beauvillier after it. Carrick will settle it down, or at least attempt to. That puck was bouncing. And now it's Mitch Marner taking a curl behind the goal. Stretched it on for Van Riemsdyk. Bozak is his option across the ice as Marner now gets in, and they give it to him. The backhand was in a good area, but Bozak was not reading that. Van Riemsdyk and Seidenberg come together along the board. Chipped out, and Gardner's blast. Tipped right in front. The save made by Greiss. Bozak got a late redirection on it. Islanders able to clear, but Marner just floated into an open area, and the Islanders were able to get control and move it in on Anderson. Marner's back on his feet after taking a hard hit from Seidenberg, and gives now for Matt Hunwick.
Islanders will have to be very much aware of Anderson. Anderson will move the puck 200 feet if you give him the opportunity, so have to watch their changes, make sure they protect against those long passes.
Alan Quine chasing after Nylander. Played it around his back, but Chimera was in on the forecheck as well. But Nylander worked it around Pelech. And a long pass. Nazem Kadri kept to the outside well by Hickey, and he'll finish the hit behind the net. Pelech's backhand. Chimera trying to get to Quine. Came back to Pelech instead. Now Chimera is there right next to Quine. Served in deep. Islanders in a change. Shane Prince jumps out onto the ice, joined by Kuhlman. And now Casey Cizikas. Content to wait back there is Hunwick. Nobody changing personnel at the current moment. Soshnikov trying to step around Kuhlman. Didn't get by cleanly. Prince showed Soshnikov the ice. And then Smith bunched up at the blue line. Forced back for Gardner. Short pass for Carrick. Into the zone. They say Martin did touch it.
Fourth line against fourth line for the Islanders and the Maple Leafs. Of course, Matt Martin in his familiar position.
Banging bodies and just put Boychuk.
No friends out here when you're playing. Get a chance to get a clean, hard body check, which is what Matt Martin has always been all about. He's going to give it to you.
He's number 2 in the NHL with 189 hits. He's 5th in hits per game when you factor in how many games have been played. As But you think about Matt Martin, 8 minutes and 45 seconds per game. That's the lowest amount of ice time on the team for the Toronto Maple Leafs on a consistent basis, but yet he has league-leading numbers when it comes to hits, which means he's making the most of his opportunities in that category.
And Mike Babcock not quite using him the same way that the Islanders used him. Haven't established that good fourth-line presence as strongly as that particular line was for the Islanders. He's in more of a protection role for the young kids, which there's a number of rookies on this team. And
give away in front, and Price just bailed out Tavares. The Islanders have a knack for playing that puck into the middle of their own zone. Here's Lee with his shot. Blocker save, and it jumped off the stick of DeHaan. Islanders get caught on a change, but it's a 3-on-1. Matthews delays, and Pelech laid out. Got it with the skate blade. Brown down low. Shoved back to the boards. Out to the blue line, Riley. Worked over. That shot came in. DeHaan stepped in front of the blast from Zaitsev. Stolen away by Marner. Excuse me, that's Matthews for Riley. And that one sails wide. Van Riemsdyk trying to hold. Left it out top, Zaitsev. Now for Morgan Riley. Riley lays it softly down low. DeHaan gloves it, trying to get away from Van Riemsdyk. Help came from Marner and the Maple Leafs. Forced it to the center. It's off the stick of Bozak. The Islanders do clear, but just barely. They'll be able to sneak off a couple of players, and now the Leafs back in with a quick shot. Grice thought he had it. It was off his stick to the glass.
Just an innocent-looking shot from Bozak on the transition game. Islanders really sloppy in their own zone. They're going to have to settle down a little bit and make a better and more conscientious effort to get that puck out of their own zone.
Hickey from the outside put it behind the Maple Leaf net and then played to the boards. This one is not a high stick as it's touched next by Bozak and rolling it into Grice's corners. Thought he was going back to the net. Now he's tangled up down low with Bozak. Islanders need to clear it here and have a chance now as Strome had to pick the pocket of Nylander in order to do so.
Good second effort by Ryan Strome in the zone.
Leafs got away with too many men on the ice there. They clearly had 6 for a moment while they were playing the puck, but the officials were gazing elsewhere. Beauvillier got around Gardner. Carrick will grab it. Quine will put the pressure on. Short pass for William Nylander. Intercepted by Ladd. Ladd steps in with a shot. Wide off the lively boards. Chimera wins a race to it. Had his stick lifted, though, by Komarov.
Ladd got all of that. Great anticipation by Andrew Ladd.
Here's Quine to the front. His shot. Rocketed off the stick and over the glass as Ladd gets into a shoving match with Connor Carrick. And the linesman will intervene here. Islanders have a 1-0 lead, but it was nearly tied up. Tavares gave it to the wrong guy, Austin Matthews. Thomas Grice, the denial.
Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, they couldn't believe that a professional athlete could come over and say hello. Just one of the good things that the Islander hockey players do.
How long do you think it'll take them to tell that story tomorrow at school?
I think it's already on Twitter.
That's also true. They don't have to wait to tell that story. It's already out there.
Good stuff, though, by Jason Chimera. And so many of the hockey players do much of the same thing. They are just really good people besides being good athletes.
We played 9 minutes so far here tonight. Islanders with a 1-0 lead over the visiting Toronto Maple Leafs. Second visit of the season, first since October for the Leafs. Final meeting of the year will be in Toronto on Valentine's Day as Grice makes the save. That one rolls around in front of the Islanders' goal. And Anders Lee on for Islanders captain John Tavares.
And not a great control of the rebound by Thomas Grice. Kind of moved his stick a little early, I thought.
Bailey sniffing one out again. Put it through the top of the crease across the boards. Boychuk, there's another Lee deflection and a save from Anderson. That one taken by Kadri, and he will come ahead. Nazem Kadri has Nylander on the right side. It's Nylander's wrist shot. Came back to him. Put it on net. Grice the stick save. Letty try to get away from William Nylander. With a pass to the middle of the ice for Bailey. Left off for Boychuk.
A little more gingerly, that pass was through the neutral zone or through the middle of the ice. Letty took a little look. Islanders have been guilty with it. They like to use that outlet through the middle of the ice, but they've been caught a couple of times. Don't forget the Toronto Maple Leafs, they watch video too, so they'll be scouting that, I'm sure, to maybe catch the Islanders a couple of times in those scenarios.
And while the Maple Leafs are in the playoff picture, their wins necessarily haven't been because of stellar defense. They score a lot of goals. 3.06 per game. That is sixth best in the NHL. And while they were able to survive a wild one in Boston on Saturday with a 6-5 win, the game winner coming from James Van Riemsdyk, who had a couple.
Well, typically you talk about young guys, rookies, learning the NHL game.
Brock Nelson unleash the shot that may have got a piece of the glove of Anderson.
So they have a lot of skill, but they don't know what to do when they don't have the puck.
Beauvillier off the bench, steps a little closer, put it into a good area off the pad of Anderson.
A couple of nice saves by Anderson, dropping that flipper down low, the left flipper that is.
Stop back of the goal by Grice. Seidenberg off the glass and then out of play, so there is no penalty here, but there is a break in the action at Barclays Center. Islanders still up 1-0 on Toronto. Partial ticket plans are available now with lower level tickets starting at just $49. Call 844-33-ISLES or visit islanders.nhl.com to make sure you're part of the action next season.
And then there's been a lot of action in this particular game in the first period. Scoring chances, speed.
14 shots, almost evenly distributed. 8 for the Islanders, 6 for the Maple Leafs. The shots are even, the hits are even as well at 8 apiece. And wouldn't you know it, Matt Martin has half of the total hits for the Maple Leafs so far in the hockey game. Here's Mitch Marner with a shot that is grabbed and held onto by Thomas Grice.
Boy, really good speed through the neutral zone as he picks up that pass. I believe that was from Carrick. Flying through the neutral zone was Mitch Marner. That's one of his assets. He has several. I mean, he's the former MVP of last year's Memorial Cup, leading scorer in the Memorial Cup. So he comes with all kinds of attributes, skill, can shoot. His biggest asset is he's a tremendous passer.
Mitch Marner had 116 points during 57 regular season games, had 44 more points in 18 playoff games.
Fabulous player. A nice draft back-to-back. You get Mitch Marner, and then you get Austin Matthews.
Here is Austin Matthews, dragging and shooting. He's not afraid to do that, and he puts it into the glove of Grice.
No, he's really the shooter of all the rookies. I mean, he loves it. Of course, Laine in Winnipeg is a tremendous shooter, but Austin Matthews is a guy that has that shoot-first mentality, and on every line you have to have that. You have to have the playmaker. You have to have sort of the checker, the guy that will go to the dirty areas, and then you got to have the guy, the trigger man. You know, the line of Gillies, Bossy, and Trottier. You can probably figure out who was who on those lines.
Morgan Riley whiffed on that, came to Ladd, sprayed across the ice, Quine. Chimera to it. For Andrew Ladd, battling with Matthews, who knocked him into the back of the net, which rocked but stayed in place. And now Leddy will have to get there ahead of Connor Brown. Pass off Quine, stick to Andrew Ladd. Ladd gains the line, snaps one. That one hit Roman Polak. Then Quine takes the bump. Chimera got tied up with Komarov, allowed Austin Matthews to take the puck. Laid a little too out far in front of Hunwick. Met by the stick of Boychuk, and still the Islanders having to retreat deep into their own zone.
Islanders doing a nice job on their gap control as the Maple Leafs come through the neutral zone. The defense has been staying up on the play and forcing the Maple Leafs to chip it in just outside the blue line. This is a team that wants to carry the puck in with all their skill. They don't want to give up the puck.
William Nylander stops, weighs his options, goes up high. That shot blocked by Shane Prince. Help coming in the form of Cizikas as Prince angled off along the boards. Poked free, comes to Kuhlman. Kuhlman dropped it. DeHaan able to step around Kadri. Calvin DeHaan tries to go a little bit deeper with it. Met by Carrick, comes out. Prince loads one up. It bounced away from the net.
Like DeHaan was hanging around the front of the net looking for the deflection. Prince and Carrick both with good speed on a Maple Leafs defenseman.
Matt Martin's coming after DeHaan. Tries to finish the hit as DeHaan spins away. This one wrapped all the way down. No icing here. As catching up to it is Morgan Riley.
I'm waiting for the opportunity to see Cizikas and Martin get at it one-on-one. See who gets the first check-in.
Soshnikov scores! He wound up with a big slap shot and put it through the legs of Grice to even the score.
Boy, that was a howitzer. He had good speed coming up through the middle of the ice. Not sure if Thomas Grice wasn't partially screened as Soshnikov lets that shot go. Pellick's in front of him, but it just didn't get a lot of reaction as that puck really took off in a hurry from Soshnikov. Nothing fancy about his game, plays with a lot of energy, but the Islanders, I just talked about their gap control, not very good there as Pellick just backs in way too far, gave him too much room. No chance for Thomas Grice to be able to make the save, as that was a terrific shot from Nikita.
Soshnikov has now 2 goals in the last 3 games, and apparently he is sick and tired of hearing us talk about all the other rookies and not mention him.
Well, he's not very big. He's another one of these guys around 5'11", but he's got a lot of energy to his game. He's got some skill, obviously, and possesses a terrific slap shot. But Adam Pelech just backed off way too far, didn't get his stick out in front of him, and allowed Soshnikov to really let a hard shot go.
Soshnikov had just 11 games of NHL experience before this year. Spent all last year with the Toronto Marlies and actually started this season with the Marlies, played 6 games down there. And he is starting to heat up. 41st game of the season, but now 3 goals in his last 6 games as Ryan Strome has the only Islanders goal and is making life difficult for Roman Polak. Now Hunwick back for Polak. 5:43 to go here in the first period. All squared at 1. Shots are even at 8 as Polak waits behind the net with barely an Islander in his zone. Couple of number 1 overall picks. Matthews and Tavares came together. Tavares got a stick on Matthews. Knocked the puck away, but then Zaitsev right back into the Islanders' end. Leddy, long pass ahead for Johnny Boychuk. Here's Boychuk from the outside, and that one knuckled over the shoulder of Anderson, but rolled wide. Boychuk again, that shot blocked by Matthews, and here come the Maple Leafs. 4-on-2. Left for Riley. Back over for Matthews. He scores! Able to push it through. Thomas Greiss and Austin Matthews, his 24th goal of his rookie season, comes a minute and 24 seconds after the Leafs' first tally.
Well, that's just how quick the game can change. A game of inches. It's the Islanders who have an opportunity to get ahead 2-1 as Johnny Boychuk is able to get down the wing on a nifty pass. We look at Matthews with his 24th goal, but there's Boychuk, a good wrist shot, and Anderson's lucky that that doesn't go in the net. And then Austin Matthews, a quick drop pass to Riley, and Riley gives it back to Thomas Greiss. Thomas Greiss, and looking at that angle, Brendan, I think might want that back. That didn't look like much of a goal. Matthews maybe fooled him. Maybe he thought he was going to go somewhere else with it, but he was in pretty tight. He didn't have much angle. And I'm not sure if Thomas Greiss would be happy with that goal that was slid by him by Matthews.
Austin Matthews likes to shoot. It looked like Greiss was thinking pass. Either way, it's a 2-1 lead for the Toronto Maple Leafs as Matthews a look and then tucked it through the legs.
Period action between the Islanders and the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Leafs with 2 quick goals. Rick DiPietro, this game can change in a hot minute when you're playing with a team that can score like this.
Well, Brendan mentioned it during the telecast. This team gave us over 3 goals a game, one of the best in the NHL. You got to cut down on the odd man rushes. You got to get back to what you're doing great in the first period. Speed through the neutral zone, causing your own turnovers, and get in on the forecheck.
We're going to have more with Rick. Also, Eric Cairns is joining us during our first intermission. It is the forward intermission report, but still some time to play here in the first period. About 5 minutes to go, guys.
Thanks, Shannon. Islanders now playing from behind. Strome got the goal a minute and 23 in. But the Leafs with goals a minute and 24 apart have taken a 2-1 lead as Kuhlman got cross-checked in the back by Connor Carrick as he was skating away after the whistle. And Kuhlman will go back and challenge him.
Buddy Komarov talking to Cooley, trying to get him to slow down a little bit. But we'll take a little look as to see what to start. Oh, there's a little cross-check by Carrick, so Kuhlman's not going to back away. He said, hey, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. You know, I want to get back to what the Maple Leafs are doing so well. They're creating a lot of odd man rushes, Brendan. I mean, they're just getting up on the ice in a hurry. Their defense is joining it. The Islanders have got trapped a number of times. Defense got caught pinching, and the Islanders just have to be a lot more aware of what's going on the ice because the Maple Leafs are just exploding out of their own zone when they have the opportunity. You got to do a little bit better job in making sure you're in a position to play defense. It can't be just all about offense.
Mitch Marner works up the ice with Gardner, and that one will roll in. Greiss will quickly move it over for Ladd, who will launch it out to center. Alan Quine just couldn't get there before the stick of Connor Carrick, and the Leafs take back over. Carrick, 22 years old, out of Orland Park, Illinois, rolls it in, and DeHaan to go get it with Marner. Got support from Seidenberg. Van Riemsdyk back there. Alan Quine comes away with it, but his pass was right in the skates of Marner. Chipped around by Ladd. Can't catch up to it before Carrick got there. But this is read by Chimera. He nearly got it, and then Marner put it right through the middle of the ice and got away with it.
Toronto Maple Leafs will score a lot of goals, but they'll also give up a lot of goals. So the Islanders, if they can play a little bit more solid hockey, will certainly get their opportunities.
Freddie Anderson posted back-to-back shutouts January 23rd and 25th, but since then has allowed 13 goals on his last 80 shots. That's less than 84% on his save percentage over the past few games. That included being pulled after 3 goals on 8 shots in Dallas just last week.
A little cross-check there by Thomas Hickey, but of course in the National Hockey League, cross-checks are illegal.
Tomorrow night, it's a brand new episode of the MSG Hockey Show presented by Geico. Join host Ardo Cal, Will Reeves, and former NHL star Anson Carter as they talk pucks, pop culture, and everything else. Tomorrow night at 10:30 on MSG. Might want to legalize penalties tonight if you're the New York Islanders and stay away from the Maple Leafs power play.
Yeah, it's a very good power play, no doubt about that. And they, especially on the road, they're number 1 at 29%. So they a little more efficient when they get away from home. Probably a little less fancy. Keep the puck just a little more often.
Nazem Kadri, the guy to watch out for on the power play. If we ever do get there, he has 10 power play goals on the season.
He's been good this year. Last year he had 17 goals. This year he's already got 20 and still got about 30 games to go. So he's adapting to his new role, which is basically a checking center.
Zaitsev will wrist one into traffic. It came to Anders Lee. Lee ahead to Bailey. Tavares is out there with Riley. Tavares tried to drag it around Morgan Riley, but that stick just got there. Kept in by Beauvillier off the bench. Squirts out to the center circle. Letty waiting with it there. Off of Strome. He'll go after it. Final 3 minutes of play here in the first period. Shots are 10-9 for Toronto. This will not be icing, so Greiss will play it.
Toronto Maple Leafs with the chess matches. They are trying to match lines and defensive pairings, depending who they want to get out. So a lot of changes on the change, a lot of changes on the go for the Toronto Maple Leafs as I'm watching their bench and watching the guys shuttle back and forth. So Mike Babcock has a specific game plan and wants to adhere to it rather strictly.
Babcock, of course, spent the previous 10 seasons with the Detroit Red Wings before coming over last year and was very upfront with the players and with the media, saying this is going to be a process. It might be painful at times, but you got to trust in the system. And, well, some pretty good results for the first part of year number 2.
It was painful last year, finished in last place, and he's a guy that likes to win, as all coaches do. Nobody likes to lose, Brendan.
I know you don't.
No.
Brock Nelson down low trying to get rid of this puck.
If you like to lose, you shouldn't be in sports.
Austin Matthews able to have it for a moment. This one came out and Carrick sent it back into late offsides as Matthews had a little bit of a tough time getting out of the zone.
Johnny Boychuk, old-time hockey, just stepped in front of him, blocked him out. In some ways that could have been interference, but Boychuk maintained his position. So good stuff from Johnny Boychuk.
Seidenberg with a good read to keep this puck in down low. Seidenberg to the front, Cizikas, and then Prince, and now Kuhlman. No one can get the puck on net. Prince finds some space behind the net to the front. Cizikas, save, rebound, score! Nikolai Kuhlman finally cleaned it up. And a 4-goal first period has us tied at 2 with 1:47 left.
I'll talk about the hockey gods stepping in as Carrick is on the ice for that. And who scores the goal but Kuhlman. So here, take that, Carrick, says Nikolai Kuhlman. Terrific job on the forecheck. Casey Cizikas with a really good opportunity early on. I don't think that Anderson saw it, and then the Islanders stayed right with it. Good work behind the net with Prince. Out to Cizikas, lets that shot go. But look at the hungry Kuhlman. He just jumps right in for the rebound. Gets himself in position, picks up the rebound. Gardner's not able to stifle his stick, and the Islanders have a huge goal late in this first period by Nikolai Kuhlman and Casey Cizikas. And you know Cizikas is happy because his fourth-line buddy is on the opposite side of the ledger.
And Shane Prince with a nice play to kind of sneak away behind the net and set up Cizikas. Prince had a goal and an assist against the Maple Leafs back in October. Here's Alan Quine. Are we done? Maybe not. Here in the first period, we've seen 4 goals, but we still have 1:20 to play. DeHaan shot. Rebound is there, and Pollock had to sweep it away.
Shane Prince using his speed behind the net to create that opportunity.
Seidenberg down deep to get it. This one came off of Chimera and then knocked out of the air by Quine. Ladd just couldn't knock it around Zaitsev. DeHaan followed it up. They'll roll it in. Islanders will go for a change. Nikolai Kuhlman now 5 points in 8 career games against the Toronto Maple Leafs. As this one look out into the Islanders bench.
Well, you think he's not ready for his old team. no matter who you are, you always want to play against your old team. You're always ready to prove that they made a mistake. As we take a little look at first period goals, and two of the best play in the National Hockey League are scoring still at a pretty good rate. Toronto with 2 goals this period, the Islanders with a couple themselves. So these two teams are prepared to start the first period, which is, for me, is a very positive sign. I always want my teams coming out of the gate.
Leafs had scored the first goal in 29 of their first 50 games, but not here today. The Islanders have the first and the most recent, Strome and Kuhlman. Here, 35 seconds to go. Lee and Zaitsev collide and both hit the ice. Tavares with a pretty good hurdle over Zaitsev to get back involved in this play as Hyman beats out an icing, tucked it into the pads of Greiss, and it was sitting there for a moment exposed before he covered it up.
That was a pretty close race between Hyman and Thomas Hickey. It's really the race to the dot. That's when they linesmen try to make their decisions on whether or not it should be icing. But good hard work by Zach Hyman. Another one of those rookies. He's just 24 years old. He's originally a Florida draft pick. He's just starting to get his going.
Played 4 years at Michigan. It was a Hobie Baker finalist as a senior.
Well, he's got some size to him. He's strong on his skates, and he's got some skill, as all these rookies for the Maple Leafs seem to have.
Connor Carrick. Sharp angle block. 15 seconds to go in the period. Boychuk backhands it around. Beauvillier run into by Mitch Marner. Marner run into by Boychuk, but it's Marner again. Tried to wrap it into the crease, and there was Nelson to skate it back to the boards with 6 seconds left in the period.
Good
Tipped out. Here's Beauvillier with 3. Beauvillier will put it on goal. Why not? Anderson steers into the corner, and the first period has come to a close as Beauvillier and Carrick met, and now a crowd will gather around them.
Carrick, a bit of an agitator, it looks like. He seems to be able to get under the skin of a couple of players. And too bad Cal Clutterbuck's not playing tonight, because that would be an interesting match. But I was going to say Brock Nelson, real smart play, not standing with the puck, got his feet moving, took it out of play and out of harm's way. And good, solid first period, really, for these teams. They both had some good offensive opportunities. They both had some good goaltending. And I just like the spirit of the game. It was very, very good, very quick, and a lot of talent out there. Really enjoyable.
97-98 season. Tweet your answer to #Cadillac Trivia and tune into the post-game show to see if we show your tweets. John Tavares and Nazem Kadri will take the face-off to start the second. Anders Lee and Josh Bailey on either side of the Islanders captain. It is Nylander on the right side for the Maple Leafs. And on the left, it's Leo Komarov. But it's played back to the D, and it's Roman Polak for Toronto as he charges ahead. Wraps it around the boards. Adam Pelech tried to slip it past Kadri. They were sneaking Zaitsev onto the ice in place of Matt Hunwick in order to match up against the Islanders' top offensive unit.
Yeah, it's Riley and Zaitsev that play against the Tavares unit. That's what they're looking to get done, the Toronto Maple Leafs. So, a quick change.
Morgan Riley, 44 and white, has been dealing with a high ankle sprain. He missed 6 games. This is just his 3rd game back since then, and has been open about the fact that it is still bothering him, and he's starting to finally put it together, and he's assisted on both of the Maple Leafs goals so far here today.
Yeah, he's a real solid player. He has got offensive skills, no doubt about that, and logs a lot of minutes in the defensive zone. He's up around 22 minutes also. Zaitsev leads the Maple Leafs, but there's 3 guys basically. They're logging around the same amount of ice time, and Riley's one of those guys.
Just 22 years old from Vancouver, BC. And a guy wearing a letter on his jersey here this season. And he may have that A turn into a C before too long. Cizikas, alley-oop pass to Shane Prince. Kuhlman is joining. Prince turns it. Kuhlman shoots it, and Anderson got across to make the stop.
Great anticipation by Anderson. A terrific pass from Prince, who was in a race to pick up the loose puck.
Made the backhand spinning pass as Brown tried to drag it past Boychuk. And Boychuk dragged it with him instead to the corner. Now Cizikas working on Hyman. Brown slips it out for Gardner. Quickly over for Carrick. The pass came out of the zone. Islanders will have plenty of time here as the Maple Leafs will take the opportunity to make a change. New York will as well as Boychuk and Leddy come ahead. Off of Nelson, then off of Strome. And now Polak trying to get away from Ryan Strome.
Islanders had no speed through the neutral zone. They were all standing, so once Boychuk got that puck up, there was nowhere to go.
Bozak to the outside, trying to work around Leddy. Got in quite close, and the shot off the arm. Now back in front, a chance and a glove save from Thomas Greiss. Wrong. robs Tyler Bozak to keep this game tied.
And one of the things that Marner does extremely well is he's a tremendous hockey sense and has a great awareness of everybody on the ice, and found Bozak all alone in front. You can see the Islanders. This is a 2-on-1 break. Good pass by Prince, but Anderson's tracking it all the way, and Kuhlman tries to go 5-hole. And then on the other side of it, the quick snapshot. But look at Thomas Greiss. He's got position this time. A chance to get set. Makes a nice save.
Pollock shot blocked. Our RoboCam replay was brought to you by Verizon Wireless as they try and spring Anthony Beauvillier. We'll get there, but had run out of real estate by the time he picked it up. Brock Nelson overskate. Unwick smacked around the wall. Van Riemsdyk met by DeHaan in the corner. Nelson then for Beauvillier. Strome heads to the net. Beauvillier goes to the blue line. DeHaan over. Seidenberg waits with it. Backhands it down deep and around the back of Freddie Anderson. DeHaan pinches right back in. Wrestles it away from Van Riemsdyk. Knocked down in the slot. Beauvillier trying to get it to settle. Could not. And Bozak will skate away. On now for Van Riemsdyk. Mitch Marner out there as well. Seidenberg back of the goal. Twists away from Bozak. With pressure mounting on him. Now Beauvillier stretching this one out for Strome. And Gardner able to knock that one away from Ryan Strome. Seidenberg stepped up, knocked down his man. Puck still came to Mitch Marner. Run into by DeHaan. Marner comes away with the puck. It's still Mitch Marner with it to the slot. Played out for Carrick. Wrist shot, and that one hit a body in front.
Sosnikov in front looking for the deflection or the possible screen, but Greiss was able to track that one and steer it to the side.
Islanders get a change. It is Ladd, Quine, and Chimera out there. Sosnikov, Matt Martin, Ben Smith. Offensively right now for the Maple Leafs. Matty Martin, the former Islander, takes the bump. Now hit by Quine. Quine rips it away from Martin. Chimera's backhand gets over for DeHaan. Martin coming his direction. Trying to get rid of the puck and did. Ladd snuck it on for Chimera. 1-on-2 from the outside. Chimera has Ladd breaking the pass. Was broken up by Gardner.
Gardner in the back-checking role. He's supposed to be already in position, but he was back-checking because he was a little aggressive on the offensive side for the defenseman.
Hickey unable to connect with Ladd in the neutral zone. Kadri plays it back now. Nikita Zaitsev allowing his forwards to complete the change. Nazem Kadri worked on by Pelech, knocked to his knees. Played from Tavares to Hickey. Full 360. Now weighs his options. Tries back around on the reverse for Pelech. Right back to Hickey. Ladd's breaking up the right side. Andrew Ladd from the outside. Shoots. Save for Bailey. Backhand. Oh, what a save! Bailey went to the backhand, and somehow Freddie Anderson got a glove on it.
Yeah, that's why he's got a mask on. That was robbery. Tremendous pass up the ice to Andrew Ladd has the opportunity. It was a Thomas Hickey pass, and then Bailey followed up for the rebound. Andrew Ladd, you can see checking on the screen. See what the heck happened. Why did that puck not end up in the back of the net? Andrew Ladd, good hard shot. But look at the rebound. Josh Bailey picks it off with his skate up to the stick. And Anderson just stays right with it. And Bailey just didn't get as much on it as he would have liked to. Well, it needed to zip it. Still, highway robbery. Anderson keeps the teams at 2 apiece.
Seen some pretty good saves so far in this period. The Islanders will use another one here. Brown in, and he hit the outside of the net. And Price will keep it tucked between the post and his left skate.
Yeah, another big save by the goaltender. And Leddy, I think, lifted the stick just enough on Brown to sort of bother him a bit. Couldn't do exactly what he wanted to. What a pass that was. Talk about threading the needle. There goes Brown. There's the stick lift I'm talking about. Just enough to impede him from getting a clear opportunity. Then Thomas Greiss did the rest. Took the far side away, as you mentioned, Brendan. Got the pad down along the post and prevented a goal. So a lot of opportunities at both ends of the rink, and the goaltenders are equal to the challenge.
Yeah, the first period featured 4 goals, including a few that goalies would probably like to have back, and they have made up for that here in period number 2.
Now they got to have 0 memories.
That one is just out of the reach of Prince. They say he didn't touch it, and so an icing call here.
Both these teams looking for the home run bomb, if you will. A lot of speed through the neutral zone with direct passes and little lob passes, trying to create something, maybe a lucky bounce. And it's a tough play for a defenseman. That puck's coming towards them, and they're waiting for it to land. Forward coming down on him is going 100 miles an hour.
Best face-off man the Leafs have is Tyler Bozak, and he put it towards the middle of the ice, but it came through to the boards, and now Prince with it. All the way around, Kuhlman coming back for it. Marner beat him to it. Came to Leddy, whose stick was lifted by Bozak. Played on for Cizikas. And Cizikas, amidst Bozak's pressure, turned it over. Marner to the outside. Leddy staying with him. Marner backs off, plays it deep. Boychuk, a couple of leaks around him. And then Prince couldn't sneak it by Marner. Van Riemsdyk and Leddy came together. Boychuk helped it along for Kuhlman. He hits the wall along with Hunwick, but it's played deeper into the Islanders' end once more. Bozak centers, Marner drifting in, he shoots and scores! Mitch Marner back across the body of Greiss. The Leafs lead again. It's 3-2.
That's just a tremendous play. First, he starts with Hunwick on the pinch. He's able to keep that puck in deep. And then JVR, James Van Riemsdyk, makes a picture-perfect pass out to Marner. And we talk about Marner, the skill that this guy has. Good hard work down low. The Islanders are right there. You see Hunwick, he pinches in. And then Bozak just hangs on to the puck. I thought it was JVR, but it was Bozak who makes the beautiful pass out in front to Marner. Good work there by the centerman, number 42. And Marner takes a quick look at Thomas Greiss, completely screened by his defenseman, Nick Leddy. Win battles along the boards, creates opportunities. And Toronto, as I said, are very opportunistic.
Mitch Marner, his 14th goal this season, now on a 4-game point streak. As the Leafs leader in points, at just 19 years of age, has added his 45th of the season.
Well, the Leafs rookies, they coming into tonight's game, they had 195 points. That's rookies. Now they do have a fair number of rookies, but still 195 points. The next closest team is the Winnipeg Jets. They have 64 points. So you can just see what the heck's going on with these rookies. Bozak, a great pass through the legs of Casey Cizikas, and then Marner, who is a gifted individual. We talked about him being an MVP for the Memorial Cup. Uses the screen and gets it in.
Quite after it, able to knock it deeper. If you want to update the numbers, put you now 199 points for rookies for the Toronto Maple Leafs here in their 51st game of the season.
And that would be good if you were just regulars and you took about 6 guys.
And also for your end of the season totals. Here's a play back out to the blue line. Grab and shot by Ladd. And DeHaan with it. Quine got roughed up by Gardner in close. Those two continue to battle. Quine had that one right through him as he got tangled up with Anderson. Seidenberg cut off by Gardner. Quine cuts one angle off, Seidenberg the other. It's worked free to Matt Martin and back for Gardner.
Good response by the Islanders after giving up the goal. And right back to work and played in the offensive zone.
Soshnikov got a glove up high in the face of Alan Quine. Martin finishes a check on Seidenberg and is still holding on to number 4. There have been no penalties called in this game. Not on either side as Ladd knifes his way past Kadri, but then the puck jumped on him. Here is Nazem Kadri up ahead. Nice poke at the line by Pelech. Well timed, and that draws the Maple Leafs in offside. 13-19 left to go here in the second. The only goal belongs to Marner and the Leaf, and they have the lead. It's 501-6870 or visit islanders.nhl.com. 13-19 remaining. Brendan Burke alongside Butch scoring. Second period action here from Barclays Center in Brooklyn. 150th all-time meeting between the Islanders and the Maple Leafs. And again, right off the face-off, there's going to be an icing here, but right off the face-off, the Maple Leafs were sneaking a new defense pair on in order to get the matchup they want.
Yeah, that's why you have to win the face-off so you can control that. But we talked about the rookies in the National Hockey League. Look at Toronto, 199 points, and the next closest competitor really is Winnipeg at 64. Chicago 62, but a lot of that's relevant to how many rookies you have in the lineup. Toronto has 7 rookies in the lineup, but still, that's a real good total. There's 7 vets, unless you're, John Tavares, Sidney Crosby, and the likes of that. But that is some balanced offense, and that is some production from your first-year pros. You just don't see that very often. So if you're a Toronto Maple Leaf fan, you got to be pretty happy to know that, hey, at some point in time, these guys are going to mature and they're going to be something special. Now, as you mentioned earlier on,
they're going to get paid too.
Somewhere along the road, the salary cap's going to play a part in the Toronto Maple Leaf future, but not for a while.
James Van Riemsdyk, Mitch Marner, and Tyler Bozak, the unit right now for the Maple Leafs after back-to-back icings from the Islanders.
Toronto Maple Leafs have not won a Stanley Cup since 1967. And fans have been waiting a long time, and perhaps there's a little sunshine at the end of the tunnel.
Zeke is working hard. Roman Polak on him. Kuhlman will hurry it up to the blue line. Pelech over. Hard pass snap to Hickey. Then that one off of Prince and wide. Grabbed by Van Riemsdyk. Tried to stretch it ahead. Marner makes a nice play to control it. Marner backs his way in. Marner's backhand. And Grice had to make an incredible stop on Mitch Marner's impressive play.
Boy, Mitch Marner, is he ever strong on his feet? He doesn't weigh a whole lot, that's for sure, but it's only 165 pounds.
Here's Tavares. Trying to make a highlight himself. Couldn't cut through Riley and Zaitsev, who have been out there every chance they've gotten against Tavares. Bailey brings it around the perimeter to the slot. Boychuk backing off. That one into traffic. Here's Tavares from the backhand. He hit the post. Alive at the side of the goal and played back down by Tavares. Boychuk, as Freddie Anderson gets back to his feet, drops down to make the save. Tavares has drawn a penalty. The whistle has been blown before Bailey took that shot, as Morgan Riley is going off for holding.
And John looked like he helped that just a little bit as he was being tied up in front, but good play for Tavares to make it certainly worthwhile. But Mitch Marner, very impressive controls, and Thomas Hickey has good position on him, but look how strong Marner is, and then the spinorama forcing Thomas Grice to make a good save, and then look at the battle in front, one-on-one. Tavares strong on his feet, hits the crossbar, and then they just went to work a little bit longer. Tavares trying to get to the front of the net. There's the hook right there. Get the stick up in the midsection. Riley says, no, I didn't do anything. Yes, you did. Get in the penalty box.
This Islanders power play is brought to you by Volkswagen. Letty on now for Ryan Strome. Lee's in front. That's where they like it. Letty, Tavares has some space. Tried to slide it to Lee in front. It got blocked. Letty right back to the front. Knocked down again. This time it's cleared by Hunwick.
Hunwick right in the middle of the ice looking to block shots. And a lot of teams try to block out now. They don't look to block as many shots. Maple Leafs, one of these teams, it looks like they're trying to block shots as often as they can.
Islanders with a power play goal in 4 straight games coming into action here today as Tavares got himself away ever so briefly. Hard around, Bailey pinched in, and he couldn't get to the wall.
Ryan Strome, knowing Bailey was over in that general vicinity, but Bailey had started to come over to lend support. Couldn't trap that puck along the boards.
Islanders power play 23 for 148, 15.5%. 12 for 85, 14.1 here at home. Turned over, Soshnikov shorthanded on Tavares, and that one is in on net, and Grice makes the stop.
Grice got out of his crease to make sure that there was no angle to shoot at.
Special teams have been good for the Maple Leafs as Bailey closing in. Tavares in the slot, pinballs around, Lee reaching for it, can't come up with it. 2-on-1 developing. Hyman and Komarov. Hyman shoots and scores. A short-handed tally, and the Maple Leafs lead by 2.
Now you talk about transition. Islanders with some glorious opportunities on the power play, and was either blocked in front or Anderson made a couple of real good saves, and then with the blocks, puck possession for the Maple Leafs, and Hyman is able to get out in a hurry. And take a little look. Tavares, there's the bounce, a crazy hop, and the good transition by the Maple Leafs. Terrific skater. Boychuk in the middle. And that's just a tremendous shot by Zach Hyman as he beats Thomas Grice on the short side, on the stick side, but a wonderful shot by Hyman. So, boy, these guys are some serious snipers in this game tonight with their opportunities.
8th goal of the season for Hyman, 5th shorthanded goal of the year for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Hyman now has 3 of those.
Now, with that kind of speed, certainly very strong on his skates, and you can see that he's got some skill. What a tremendous shot. Toronto Maple Leafs have shown some real skill, the ability to score goals with their opportunities.
Hyman played just 16 NHL games last season, so still classified as a rookie by the National Hockey League. Played 59 games in the American Hockey League with the Marlies.
Original Florida draft pick.
This one kicks around past Boychuk, and look out here, the power play still has 17 seconds left on it, and keep it away from the rookie Connor Brown. Brown got a stick up on DeHaan there. Puck grabbed by Brock Nelson. 6 seconds to go on the Riley penalty. Poke check from Nelson. Lifted into the Islanders' end. And that will do it for a power play that featured a goal from the Maple Leafs and no shots from the Islanders' advantage. Here's Brock Nelson. Tried to slip between the pair. Hunwick knocked him down as Polak came for support. Kadri. Long pass intended to bank it ahead for Matthews. DeHaan read it. Shoveled it back on for Ladd, but it's back in the grasp of DeHaan. Matthews ripped it away, but it traveled too far from him. And Hickey to get it away from Nylander.
Well, you have a couple of chances to score, and the goaltender makes big saves for you, can change the game in a hurry, and that's what's happened in this particular game. As Islanders have had 3 or 4 really good opportunities, a couple on the power play, and just weren't able to take advantage of it.
Pelech to retrieve it. Kadri coming after him as we approach 9 minutes to go here in the second period. It was a 2-2 tie at the start of the frame, but goals from Marner and Hyman have changed that. Around the boards, Gardner. Pass broken up. Kuhlman. Wristed one high. Shane Prince on it. Sharp angle off the boards to Leddy. Leddy across to Pelech. Cizikas in the high slot. They try and angle it towards the goal, and then Kuhlman put it through the paint. Leddy back down for Shane Prince. Prince handed off to Cizikas, but Gardner got involved. This one rolls through the high slot, and Kadri is there. Bumped it past Leddy. Austin Matthews working on Seidenberg, and Seidenberg will take it away. Austin Matthews goes to the bench for a change as Van Riemsdyk comes on and Prince comes into the zone. Offside is called as Prince a little bit too much east to west right as he approached the blue line. Mitch Marner made it 3-2, and then Zach Hyman shorthanded 4-2 Maple Leafs.
2-on-1, and Zach Hyman puts it behind Thomas Greiss. So too many odd man rushes, and the team that seems to be as skilled as this young Toronto Maple Leafs is are making them pay.
Leafs have scored 10 goals in their last 4+ periods. 8 of those 10 have been by rookies, the other 2 from James Van Riemsdyk. Zaitsev, and that one was blocked by Leddy, whether he wanted to or not. Hit him right up around the arm, and now Austin Matthews in a battle with John Tavares. Matthews taken #1 overall just this past summer. John Tavares, #1 overall back in 2009. And here is number 91. The other number 91 bitch.
Exactly.
That one deflected away and came to the boards. Hyman right back down low, gave it away to Beauvillier. His pass was intended for Bailey, and it just caught an edge and bumped over his stick.
It looks like Doug Wade is trying to get John Tavares away from Hunwick and Riley, so he's switched lines a little bit. He had Tavares out with the 3rd line, or 4th line, depending on what number you want to use.
To the outside, Marner. Marner dropped it off, and Bozak nearly had a look at the open net. Van Riemsdyk's backhand into a good area, but off the skate of Boychuk. Led on by Chimera, tried to return it from Ladd. Chimera! And that one tipped by Pollock on the back check out of play.
Speed rules in this game today, no doubt about it. Both teams have created opportunities simply because they're skating so well. And Chimera, one of the better skaters in the National Hockey League, with a good pass from Andrew Ladd, creates a little bit of an opportunity, but Pollock just gets his stick out just enough to, no, I didn't even get it. It was just shot over the net. He wanted to go high glove, a rolling puck, nice pass from Andrew Ladd. But speed, a big factor in the game tonight. And Islanders haven't played a lot of these games where there's been so much speed, or it's been so evident. The last couple against the Hurricanes and then again Toronto. And this is good for the Islanders to get involved in this type of game. It'll help them to pick their pace up. And not that they've been left behind, but when you're not used to playing these style of games, it takes an adjustment. Not as been as grinding a game as they have played on several other teams.
Yeah, Carolina, Columbus play at this type of pace. As the league is getting younger, it is also getting faster. Seidenberg and Matt Martin came together. Seidenberg got it for Quine, but this is Ryan Strome putting it in an area for Anders Lee. Lee and Pollock battle. It came to Strome to the front. Nelson scores! Lee did the work. Strome made the pass, and Nelson with a picture-perfect shot under the bar. 4-3 Maple Leafs as the Islanders get one back.
Now we're suffering at some lines to try and change the pace a little bit, change the strategy a little bit, make the opposition coach think a little bit. So Doug Wade makes an adjustment. He gets Anders Lee with Brock Nelson and Ryan Strome. We used to call this the rookie line. What a beautiful pass by Ryan Strome from behind the net, and Brock Nelson with the good quick release. Look at the support, then the pass, and the quick release up and over the glove. No chance for Anderson, and the Islanders are back in the game. Lee stays on the ice. John Tavares, and you can see Carrick and Gardner on the ice. We'll see how quickly they change or how quickly they can change. If the Islanders win the faceoff and get it deep, Carrick will be forced to stay on the ice.
Pelech just got it away from Nylander, who was in alone if that pass completes. Brock Nelson now with a 4-game point streak. He's got 3 goals in his last 5+ games. And that is great news for the New York Islanders as Nelson gets his 12th.
Yeah, we mentioned that a couple of games ago that Doug Weight was hoping that someone else would get hot other than the Tavares and Lee combination. It seems like it's the Nelson and Strome combination.
We saw 4 goals in the first. We've seen 3. So
The Islanders have just scored to cut the Leafs lead in half. Shannon Hogan, Rick DiPietro. Want to let you know, coming up in the Chevy Intermission Report, more with Rick. And this is the kind of response the Islanders needed. You cannot go into that third period down 2 goals.
Well, you're absolutely right. And this has been a back and forth period. Unfortunately, the Islanders have given up too many odd man rushes. You give up a shorthanded goal. You love the response. You love the fact that Doug Weight kind of switched the lines up. You got this team going.
We're going to have more with Rick, plus the player walk-off interview coming up in our Chevrolet Intermission Report. But still, almost 6 minutes to play, you guys, in this period.
yeah, looking forward to that, guys. It is a 4-3 lead for the Toronto Maple Leafs. William Nylander, the outside, goes back to the blue line. Carrick walks in, shoots. That one's off of Price. It's still loose in the slot. And Kuhlman the first to find it. Boy, there have been pucks around the net. Both nets with goalies not a factor.
Both teams driving towards the net. Today's NHL game is create trouble in front of the net for the goaltenders. They're big, they're strong, and they're athletic, so the only way you're going to beat them is to create distractions around them.
Kadri gets to the red line and floats this one in. Leddy lost it to Nylander. Nylander centers. Matthews off the post. Austin Matthews with an open look in a prime scoring area, and he put it off the iron.
Islanders really fortunate there on that breakdown in front of the net. Matthews hits the post. Glorious opportunity. That's 2 pretty good opportunities for him in the game tonight.
Both directly off Islanders miscues. It's Tavares that gave it to him alone in front of the net back in the first period, and then that one off the post. Boychuk up the wall, knocked down by Hyman, came to Austin Matthews. Run into by Leddy. Still it's Austin Matthews working with the referee right there. Penalty upcoming here against Leddy, who lost his stick and continued to force Matthews towards the boards. And a cross-checking call.
I don't know how you call cross-checking anymore. I really don't. Just because there's 100 cross-checks per game. So when do you call a cross-check? Doug Weight, he agrees. He says, how do you
he doesn't have his stick. How do you cross-check a guy is what he said.
Yeah, he lost it. He's cross-checked him early on. We'll take another look at this opportunity by Matthews as Leddy has the puck and Nylander just steals it on him. A quick pass out in front and Grice with a real aggressive move. So let's see. Okay, there's a...
He didn't have a stick.
Well, that's not a cross-check.
That was my
terrible.
confusion at the call when it was originally signaled. Was he called cross-checking on a guy who was not holding a stick at the time?
Let me take the confusion out for you. Horrible call. Terrible call.
It is the first Leafs power play. As a result, Trevor Hansen, Tom Kowal are the referees in this hockey game.
Even if it was a cross-check, when do you call a cross-check when you have 100 of them a game?
Tavares, short-handed, 1-on-2. Marner got in the way, and Zaitsev almost set it back up for him. Tyler Bozak.
I like the fact that John Tavares is thinking a little bit of offense, getting himself out in front to create that opportunity. Good job on the forecheck.
Islanders have killed 17 of the last 19 over their past 10 games. Marner sets it up for Bozak. 43 in white. Nazem Kadri in the slot leads the team with 10 shorthanded goals. There's a save from Grice and a big rebound. Back for Nylander.
Islanders were slow to respond in that scenario.
Marner to the front, and that one poked away from Bozak. It looked like Tavares and or DeHaan got a piece of that one.
Long shift for now for Tavares. Been out there about a minute. Only want to get out there 20, 30 seconds in an ideal world.
Marner tried to creep in, and that one handcuffed him. Back out for Zaitsev. Drags for Marner. Marner try to go to the goal line for Van Riemsdyk. Blocked by DeHaan. And now Tavares doing what he can to clear it out of the zone. He will go for a well-deserved change.
Gives him an opportunity That's what happens if you get trapped a little bit, though. You get extended, and then you run out of gas with that pressure PK that the Islanders try to use on a regular basis.
Since Tavares joined the penalty killing unit back on December the 20th, the Islanders at 88%, 37 for 42. Tavares has only been on the ice for one power play goal against over that time. In front, Nylander. Laying out was Hickey, took that option away. Nylander controls it back for Gardner, drags and shoots. Grice knocked it down. It was loose in front. Boychuk will clear it.
Komarov with a good screen. Grice had a positional save, was able to get in front of it, use the blocker, but didn't know where the rebound went.
Out of the box comes Leddy. Couple of shots, couple of saves for Grice, and Grice will make sure the whistle blows, and the Islanders can press the reset button here with 2 minutes and 12 seconds to go in the period.
Nifty play by Gardner. Little chip and chase, fired and looking just to pick up his own rebound, but a good sharp play by Thomas Grice as he deflects it up into the net and in behind the goal line. Islanders will have a chance to reset, gather their breath just a little bit, and finish this period off on a strong note. But great penalty killing by the Islanders as the Maple Leafs had some flurries, but not a great opportunity.
Shots 22-19 for Toronto. Islanders scored late in the first. We'll see if they can do it here in the second as well. That was Kuhlman with 1:47 left. We approached that time remaining here in period 2. Beauvillier lost his stick and is able to pick it back up as this puck drifts in, and an icing call against the Maple Leafs. And so Doug Weight will get his pick of who he wants to play against this Leafs unit.
That'll be John Tavares will come out. That's the 5'6" defenseman on the ice for the Toronto Maple Leafs. So that's one of the advantages of the new rules.
Well, they did get Morgan Riley out there.
No, I didn't think they did, but they maybe switched their pairings up, or they didn't change together. But Carrick is out there, and he's the 6th defenseman for this team.
But it is Matt Martin's line out there offensively. As Tavares comes to the boards with Lee, Soshnikov tried to knock it down. Bailey kept it in. Here's Tavares. Delaying and then floating when it went wide. Grabbed back there by Smith. And he put it into an open space. Riley got there. Boychuk with a good keep with his skates. And now Riley behind Freddie Anderson and stops. Islanders will make a change. At least John Tavares will. The wingers stay on, at least for the moment. Carrick's in offside as they were in a change at the Maple Leaf bench, and Smith and Martin were kind of standing straddling the blue line.
Well, the linesman stopped the puck from going over, and that impeded the progress of the Maple Leafs, and then Carrick just carried it in after that, and of course that was offside. So nothing worked well for the Maple Leafs on that little exchange between themselves and the linesman as we take a look at Matty Martin. And boy, what a fight he had last night with McQuaid. I mean, those two guys went at it tooth and nail, and you talk about a couple of heavyweights and a tough way to earn a living. Boy, those two guys, something special last night in that fight.
James Van Riemsdyk lifts it in. Grice to stop it here as we start the final minute of the second period with the Islanders down a goal. Van Riemsdyk took it away from Pelech. Hickey will put him against the boards. Bozak got involved. That one squeaked through the front. Ryan Strome has a goal and an assist in this one. Lifts it on. Beauvillier trying to get there, and it's pulled up off the ice by Frederik Andersen.
Neat little play by Ryan Strome, working on his golf game, just to chip that thing up towards the net. And had Anthony Beauvillier go towards the net, and it was a tough play for Andersen as that puck didn't get there nearly as quick as he would have liked to. Andersen gobbled it up eventually. Had to stay patient, but Beauvillier was in the area to tap anything loose that came loose.
With 45 seconds left to go in the period, Tavares is going to play in between Ladd and Shane Prince here.
Doug Weight trying to get a little more ice time to John Tavares, and as I said, get him away from the checkers somewhat.
Leddy rolls back behind the net to grab this one. In between Boychuk and Prince and Morgan Riley. First one on. Kadri try to get it deep. Boychuk stopped it, started ahead for Andrew Ladd. 27 seconds to go in the period. His Ladd shot right along the ice. Play to the corner by the goaltender Anderson. Boychuk lifted a stick, came back for Ladd. Ladd off the glass. This one will leave the playing surface and get us a whistle that will draw face-off out in the neutral ice with 14.1 on the clock.
Looks like Tavares is out of gas right now. Even though there's only 15 seconds left, he's going to slide in. For the Islanders, 3 games in 4 nights. So they have to be very careful about their energy and how to conserve it, yet at the same time go full speed. That's not easy, stepping on the gas pedal and then trying to conserve your gas. This is a fast-paced game. A good game in Detroit, good game against the Hurricanes, and now against the Maple Leafs, another very high-octane performance from both teams.
Tonight is the final game of a 6-game road trip for Toronto. And the second period comes to a close with the Maple Leafs leading 4-3. Marner and Hyman scored early in the period. Brock Nelson got one back, and the Islanders will play from behind when the third begins.
Yeah, good response from the Islanders, though. Got it down a couple of goals. And what you can take away from that period is that you got to be a little more solid with the odd man rushes. You can't give those up to the Maple Leafs or any team in particular. So the Islanders can play a structured 20 minutes. They'll get their opportunities because the Maple Leafs.
Brock Nelson later on in the second period, but it's the rookies for the Maple Leafs. 4 of them have scored here tonight, and they lead by 1, only 20 minutes remaining. Thomas Greiss has made 18 saves so far today. Freddie Anderson has also made 18. But it is a 1-goal separation as the Islanders go back to work, but Roman Polak will tee one up, and it got directed on goal by Nylander at the side of the net, and Greiss was there and waiting.
Good save right off the bat for Thomas Greiss, that point shot from Polak. Nylander was able to deflect it just at the very last second, and Thomas Greiss had to be quick to take away the short side post. You can see the shot as Cizikas tries to get out, and there's Nylander down low. And Thomas Greiss is in perfect position. He's got the left leg extended, the right one underneath to make sure nothing slides under him.
Faceoff was won by the Islanders, but Pelech overshot both Prince and Kuhlman, who were trying to get out in front of that one.
Looking to bounce it off the glass there, get a little better angle, didn't really get it high enough. Such a fine line right there. You get it too high, you're in the penalty box to delay a game, and so you got to be err on the side of caution. So make sure you keep it in play. And another faceoff for the Islanders. Tavares, I guess he just didn't get on in time.
Cizikas will take it. Prince, Kuhlman, Pelech, and Hickey out there for the Islanders. Mike Babcock made a change to get these 5 out for the Maple Leafs. Swatted away for the front as Bozak was dangerously close.
Yeah, you see everybody now from in the National Hockey League from the point. They don't slap it all that often. It's all about wrist shots and just getting it through or somewhere in the area where the opposition can play it, looking for deflections, rebounds, and such. So it's not about scoring from the blue line anymore, unless you get a little lucky here and there.
Pelech lifts it in. Anders Lee will go chase it. Runs Morgan Riley into the end wall. Dug out of that pair by Gardner. Tavares got there just as Gardner was playing it up the far boards. And then Mitch Marner spins to alleviate some pressure.
The Islanders were in the midst of a change. That's why the support wasn't as quick as it ought to be.
Tavares had to make a quick turn before it would have been offside as Lee was stuck in the zone for a moment. Zaitsev around for Morgan Riley. Signed a new 6-year, $30 million contract over the summer, did Riley. And this one given up by Zaitsev, and then off the skates, it's Riley again.
That should give you some security, shouldn't it?
A little bit.
Take all the pressure off of playing.
As much as a big contract in Toronto has given anyone security. Over the past few years, Northwell Health Ice Center's Learn to Skate program offers something for everyone. From first steps on the ice to mastering advanced skating skills with classes for all ages from tots to adults, skaters can sign up for the group lessons anytime. To learn more, visit NorthwellHealthIceCenter.com. Strome wins the faceoff back. Boychuk had it on edge. Got it to Nelson, and his shot hit a body. It was Strome in the high slot as Beauvillier got wrestled down to the ice by Zaitsev. Strome got the puck. Zaitsev had his stick tangled up with Beauvillier. That forced Hyman into action down low. This one is bounced past Leddy, and he will go get it. Wholesale line change for the Maple Leafs. Leddy comes out from behind the goal, and if the drag to get it away from Nylander, but then had to make another move as Nylander stayed with him. Gardner knocked it off the stick of Strome. Now Brock Nelson's pass to Leddy is stolen. It's Komarov. Back over towards Nylander.
Toronto Maple Leafs already starting to jam up the neutral zone, going into a 1-2-2 if they're not sure to be able to get a good forecheck going. And the Islanders will have to be very precise with the decision making in that neutral zone.
Nylander in. Kadri after it. Ladd beat him to the puck. DeHaan, a quick pass for Seidenberg, who played it off the wall. Couldn't dump it in as he got to the red line. Came back for it. Help came from Quine, who will pull it out of the skates against the boards and give to DeHaan.
Ladd and Kadri having words.
Here's Quine after it. Got there ahead of Hunwick. Ladd came to get the puck. Took a hack on the stick. Keeps on motoring. That time he ran into Nylander, though. Kadri lifted it ahead. Martin trying to work around Seidenberg. DeHaan with the angle on Matt Martin. Put him up against the boards. Martin pulled down DeHaan. Play continues. We have had one penalty called against each team. Both teams 0 for 1 on the power play, but a shorthanded goal for the Maple Leafs. Soshnikov trying to split in. Soshnikov, and at the last moment, a diving effort by Hickey. Here's Tavares with all sorts of speed. Tavares to Bailey. Bailey cuts back. Lost it, got it back again. Put it into the circle. Hickey down low. Hickey behind his back for Lee out in front. Lee from a tough angle off a skate and return to sender. Lee around the goal. Knocked down to his knees. The puck taken by Soshnikov. Hickey gloves it down. The play alive for the moment for the Islanders. Tavares to the front. Put it on goal. Pried off the pads by Anderson. Martin gets it cleared.
Tavares had to rush that play to Josh Bailey and would have liked to have got it out a little further in front of the crease.
It is still Tavares, Bailey, and Lee, but this is Brown, Hyman, and Matthews countering. Connor Brown on net, and Tavares was there. And then this one on goal, and a lunging right leg save from Grice.
Thomas Grice with the aggressive pad save on the right-hand side. Good thing Tavares was there because the net was wide open. There was Johnny Tavares in good position coming on the back check.
Skipping puck back, Pollock mishandled, nearly gave it away to Cizikas, picked it back up, Cizikas stays with him. Roman Pollock still able to run it down around the boards. Grice for Leddy. Leddy on for Shane Prince.
Great outlet pass.
Here's Prince with speed to the outside on Pollock. Kuhlman has joined the play. Prince back, DeHaan, shot tipped off the post! Set up for Seidenberg again as Anderson spins back into his crease. Seidenberg one-timer, that one tipped on net again, and Anderson was there. Austin Matthews a chance to clear, and he'll make good on it. Glove down by DeHaan, who spins away from Brown. Let it back on for Cizikas. Left for DeHaan, well wide. That was polite.
That wasn't even in the area. That was almost like a dump into the corner. A good play by DeHaan to get up on the play. The Islanders with a couple of golden opportunities. Kuhlman deflected that DeHaan shot from the point.
Stroll. Beauvillier cut back and lost it on a good stick from Connor Carrick. Gardner dealing with Beauvillier and Stroll. Islanders come away with the puck. Here's Brock Nelson. Moving to the middle of the ice was Hickey. Nelson couldn't get it there. Hickey to come grab it.
Okay.
Pellick back over for Hickey. He's got some room. Thomas Hickey! Save made by Anderson. And Carrick got the rebound away from the front of the net.
Anderson came way out of the net. He knew Hickey had nowhere to go, so he took away the angle. Good hard shot by Thomas Hickey, but really nowhere to put that shot.
Here's Hickey again. Oh boy.
Well, that was a telegram for Mr. Komarov by Thomas Hickey.
Komarov still circling the zone. Stepped around Strome. Now gave it to Pollock. Wrist shot tipped just wide by Bozak. Hickey diving back behind the goal to make it tough for Bozak to continue. Now Beauvillier dealing with Nylander. And that one knocked away into the skates of Strome. He'll cut back and let his teammates join him on the ice.
Buying some time. Brian Strome might be looking for a change also.
Out at center, the pass was behind Boychuk. He's able to get there before Komarov could come back for it. The Islanders fail to get it in. Nazem Kadri pulled it away from Quine. Kadri in the backhand, slipped to the forehand, and it deflected on net. And Grice was able to bobble it, juggle it, and hold on to it with 13:11 to go. Still the Leafs by a goal.
You mentioned just 4, and they've got 3 more guys that all have some pretty good skill too. So the Toronto Maple Leafs, the future is very, very bright as long as they continue to improve. There's a lot of guys that are very good in the first year, and they don't continue to work on their game, and thus they get a little stagnant. So the Toronto Maple Leafs are off to a good start when you talk about rookies.
We appreciate Elias doing all the research on that. digging back through all the box scores to 1948 to find it.
I'm surprised Eric Hornick didn't have that stat already.
He was on his way. We need a couple more minutes.
Yeah, he's usually the guy with all those things. He is getting older, though. He celebrated his birthday not all that long ago.
Grice around the boards. Brown got to it quickly. His pass to Matthews broken up by Tavares, but he's unable to get it out of the zone. Letty leapt up to grab it, played it with the glove, and then across for Tavares. Spins away from Austin Matthews, steps away from Connor Brown, works his way into the zone, over for Anders Lee. Matthews and Tavares. Riley and Tavares back there, then Austin Matthews. And now it's Matt Martin. Hip check from DeHaan. Martin doesn't like it.
A little hip. You catch him with the hip, you can catch the player around the knee area, and that's always a dangerous shot, and players are don't like that particular check because it can cause some pretty serious injuries. So there's usually a little retaliatory measure in place.
Here's Jamera up ice. You wonder if Matt Martin would have reacted differently in, well, another building against another team. Here's Seidenberg. Snapshot and blocked quite quickly by Soshnikov. Jamera got the loose puck. Jamera over. Seidenberg shoots, and that one hit his stick and will leave the playing surface.
Islanders dominating play and really a lot of good opportunities. Matt Martin, that's one of the reasons why he's a Toronto Maple Leaf guy, is they looking for some toughness when they need it. Good play. Seidenberg moving in for the good shot. It's a nice pass. And that's Commissioner Gary Bettman pondering as to what's going on in his world. Well, his biggest problem really is deciding whether the National Hockey League goes for the Olympics in the very near future. And apparently the players want to go, but like everything else, there's always negotiations.
Players might go even if the league does not shut down. We shall see. As Seidenberg comes around the net. Run into by Van Riemsdyk. Strome got involved. Took it away from Bozak, then Beauvillier and Marner. And Beauvillier will get it in. Anderson comes out on the goal to play, and he just snuck it past Brock Nelson. Van Riemsdyk shoots it all the way down, and the Islanders will have an offensive zone faceoff after the icing call.
Toronto a little bit more in a shutdown mode than they were in the first couple of periods, where they pretty much had everything going in a forward direction. Now they seem to be a little bit on their heels. Been called a couple of icings, and that's usually a sure sign that you're playing a lot more in your own zone than you want to, and being forced to chip it out and then change. And the Islanders continue to press. They're going to find more opportunities to get one into the net.
Lee, Tavares, and Bailey. Tavares spinning back of the goal. Worked on by Hunwick. Tavares emerged from behind the net but couldn't keep the puck on his stick, and Marner is able to clear.
No one goes harder to the net than John Tavares, particularly with the puck. It's a battle of wills when you come to that. And Letty with the patented spinorama move got the speed, and this is what he does extremely well.
Now he takes off, got it to Bailey. Bailey had Lee, and he misfired on the pass. And Nylander right next to him. Komarov had it poked away by Bailey, but picked up by Nylander. William Nylander floats it on for Gardner. Gardner drags, and he ran into the wall named Boychuk.
Gardner got shook up just a little bit there.
That one, a double redirection, and Grice made the save. Cizikas has Bailey at the end of his shift here. But he will roll it down the wall and let Bailey get off the ice.
That's a positional save. As you mentioned, a double deflection. You can't react to that. All you can do is be in the middle of the net and hope it hits you, be as big as a horse, and Thomas Grice was.
Cizikas trailing his Prince. They get him the puck. Shane Prince's backhand right through the middle. Then Hickey tried to shovel it on goal, was blocked by Komarov out of the zone. Cizikas to take over for New York. Prince, nice pass around the back to Kuhlman, and then Prince has it, cuts to the slot, tries to force it over. Cizikas with a crack at it, would not go.
Just a hair away from completing that pretty three-way passing play with Prince, Cizikas, and Beauvillier.
Hickey takes his time. A little more time than he anticipated having. Still with it. And here he comes.
He says, I'll take what you give me.
Strome just got hammered from behind right in front of the referee. Comes to take a look at Strome, but no penalty coming from that.
Strome looked like he was in a tough position there as he was low, and Polak took him out pretty hard.
That one off his skate, and Grice made the save on the Matthews try. Boy, he's a very good player, and one of the reasons his puck seemed to find him. Here's Nelson with a drive, and it hit the post off of of Anderson. Well, a few posts here tonight on both sides of the ice, but Freddie Anderson has been bailed out a couple of times.
Ryan Strome was looking for Polak on the opportunity to reef him. A little retaliation, a little get even. Ryan Strome seems to be okay, just a little shook up on the play a little earlier.
26 shots for the Islanders. Cizikas hit a crossbar back in the first period. There were a couple of them drilled off the post, and then a couple that have rolled off of Anderson.
Several near misses.
Leddy, Tavares, try to return to Leddy, the backhand, poked wide. Brought around Chimera, first one on it with Nylander there. Lifted it by Beauvillier.
Tavares hoping to catch Anderson, overcommitted to him, and looking for the back pass to Nick Leddy. I thought was very good.
Chimera, Ladd, and Tavares right now at the end of a shift for 91.
Not a lot of whistles here in this third period.
We're down to 8 minutes left already. 7 goals in the first 2 periods, none so far in the first 12 minutes of the third. Cizikas trying to get away from Marner with a dump in.
Much tougher checking game in the third period. Both teams playing a little bit more conservative, making sure they have that third man high so they can get back. It's going to be an icing call.
Would have been offside as well. And it will be icing against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Well, coming into play here today, the Islanders were 3 points back of the Maple Leafs and 5 points back of the Philadelphia Flyers, holding on to the final playoff spot. And the Flyers are in action at home today against St. Louis, and they are down 2-0 to a Western Conference opponent, which is good news for everybody but the Flyers in the East, including both of those teams, the Sabres and the Devils, who are tied at 1 in the third with 9 minutes remaining.
The game becomes even more important for the Islanders to first get the point back that they started the game with, and then with a little bit of luck or a little bit of hard work and some skill, and win the hockey game.
Off the face-off, Hickey, shot blocked. A chance to skate up ice with Gardner. On for Van Riemsdyk. Pelech played it well. And while the Islanders right now are trying to chase down the Maple Leafs, if the Maple Leafs do win today, the Islanders will no longer be chasing them because they will leap over Boston in the Atlantic Division into the third place spot and force Boston back down into the pack. Pelech's pass out of the reach of Lee. Lee can't get there before the icing is called.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it that the way the schedule's been played, at least early on, it's not the Toronto Maple Leafs the Islanders are worried about, although they need to win their own hockey games. That is the New York Islanders. Boston Bruins have played 5 more games than the Maple Leafs. The Maple Leafs are going to get ahead of them at least for a little bit. Doug Wade's bigger concern is not the Maple Leafs, not the Flyers. His own team has got to win hockey games.
And his own team is playing their 31st home game here tonight. Butch, after tonight, just 10 home games remaining over the final stretch of the season. Here's Hyman to the front, and Matthews was tied up with Hickey on the back door. Lee unable to get it out. Matthews takes it back. The stick of Hickey gave it back to Matthews. Austin Matthews down for Hyman. Hyman to the front, and Prince was the only one there. Shane Prince, John Tavares, and Anders Lee as Prince goes off after the dump in, and Bailey will complete the change. Lee around for Seidenberg. Maneuvers to the middle, and that one floated in. Save made, score! Score! It took an extra moment. Josh Bailey finally puts it in, and the Islanders getting tied up with 6.5 to go.
And it all starts with Shane Prince, as he's able to clear his own zone, and then he cross-dumps it, and the Tavares and Lee go to work on the forecheck. They eventually gather the puck and get it back to Seidenberg, who makes that particular play. But it's Josh Bailey who scores the goal on a pass from Anders Lee. Both Tavares and was there. There's the dump in by Prince. Now watch the Islanders go to work. John Tavares is first on the puck, takes his man off, seals it along the boards, and then Lee throws it back. No doubt about it. Seidenberg fires it. Look at everybody's in front of the net, and there's the pass across from Anders Lee to Josh Bailey. So good hard work results in a goal. Both Islanders in front of the net. Number 22 Zaitsev couldn't watch them both.
And so the Islanders have battled back, but they still have a long way to go. Just over 6 minutes remaining. The Islanders have scored here in the third to tie it up, and this will be icing against New York and Dennis Seidenberg.
I'm not sure what he was thinking there. whether he wanted to change. He certainly didn't need to attempt that particular play, but he was trying to hit the net, and now the Maple Leafs will have an opportunity to get their matchup, which happens to be Bozak and Marner, JVR, Van Riemsdyk.
Face-off inside the Islanders' end. It's now 4 straight games in which the Maple Leafs have allowed at least 4 goals. They've allowed at least 5 in each of their previous 3. Hunwick's shot blocked down in front. The backhand from Van Riemsdyk was sitting right in front of Price. Seidenberg got it to Beauvillier, and Beauvillier cleared.
Well, you know that Seidenberg wanted to make sure he got that puck out because he's the one that iced it in. Well, not inadvertently. He was trying to hit the net and missed it.
Bailey from Lee and Seidenberg at 13:30 has knotted things up in this back and forth game, which kind of has the feel of Saturday against Carolina, which kind of had the feel of Friday against Detroit. It's been 3 straight tight, high-scoring games for the Islanders and their opponents.
Absolutely, no doubt. And the Islanders will have to continue to put pressure.
Marner wants to shoot, and he did, but why?
Be smart with the puck.
Wraps around for Ladd. Ladd hands off for Tavares. Finds some space on the near boards. Quick cutback. Trying to get through O'Reilly. Tavares on the backhand. Ladd was parked in front, and there was Zaitsev, Riley's partner, to knock it away. And then Riley took some hard strides to get to center before backing off. Zaitsev for Riley. Tavares heads off the ice. Komarov takes a hit from Boychuk. Nylander surrounded by Leddy. Then Gardner a blast, and that one tipped off the mark. Inside the final 5 minutes of the third period. Leddy to Kuhlman, the Islanders into the zone. Rolled a little bit on Kuhlman, and Nylander up with it. For Kadri, with Hyman. Kadri to the front, and Boychuk's stick knocked that one over the glass.
Islanders not sitting back as Leddy was jumping up into the play, and needed help from Kuhlman.
Josh Bailey, another goal. Ties the score at 4. The last 6, Ryan Strome now on a 4-game point streak. But 4 different Leaf rookies have scored for the first time since 1948. And that adds up to a 4-4 score for the New York Islanders and the Toronto Maple Leafs with 4 minutes and 37 seconds remaining.
The Islanders have not come back in the third period while behind to win a hockey game, so you might think they're due, Brendan.
One would say that. Islanders 0-12-2 when trailing at the start of the third period. One of those 2 in which they earned a point was just on Saturday against Carolina when they lost 5-4. Kuhlman will knock this one into the zone, and Carrick will get it for Toronto. With Cizikas on him, he wrapped it up the boards. Leddy couldn't keep it in. Brown on for Gardner. Hyman had to wait for him. Gardner drifting to the boards, put it off a body, and that was the skates of Kuhlman. The mishandle on the clearing attempt, and Kuhlman has to play it along the boards. Thought about going across the ice, and then we'll skate halfway there before knocking it around. Cizikas dealing with Carrick tied up. Kuhlman now on it. He gets it out of the zone, and the Islanders will get a change with 4 of 5. Boychuk stays on to defend the try from Gardner, and now Matthews. Pelech, meant by Marner. Took it away from him. Reverse scores for Boychuk. Bailey and Lee fly the zone, and Bailey touched it. No icing here. Lee, after it, has picked up 2 assists here in this hockey game. 3 straight multi-point games for Anders Lee. And we're starting to see some helpers mixed in with all those goals from Anders Lee as he helps it out to Pelech. Touched over for Hickey, and a wild shot found the glass.
Puck was way ahead of him. All he could do was...
Pelech teed one up. The loose puck is grabbed by Riley. Lee challenged him, but he works it away.
All he could do was get a shot on net, not make much happen.
Van Riemsdyk tried the airborne pass to Mitch Marner, and it went harmlessly to the boards. Beauvillier came up with it. Tavares was out in front of him. They let Beauvillier skate with it. Puck rolled on him a little. So he gets an arm bar from Roman Polak. This one is tipped back into the Islanders' end. Seidenberg curls to get away from Nylander. Ryan Strome opened the scoring what feels like forever ago in this one. It was just 1 minute and 23 seconds into the first period. The last score in which the Islanders had a lead was 1-0. They fought back to tie it at 2. They fell behind 4-2 and have scored the last 2. Nelson at the end of the second, Bailey here in the third. Crowd engaged as we approach 2 minutes. Centering pass blocked away. Comes out for Gardner. Gardner's shot. That one off the end wall. Beauvillier playing without a stick. Will push Connor Carrick into the wall.
Needs to go get one.
Behind the boards, Beauvillier did grab one. The puck rolls to his man. No, Carrick backdoor. Nylander scores! With only 2:01 left, William Nylander puts the Leafs in front 5-4.
And normally Beauvillier would be in position, but he had to go get his stick. And the Toronto Maple Leafs take advantage of that. When you talk about being snake bit, boy, the New York Islanders, they can just do no wrong in their own zone. Komarov dumps it in behind the net. Kadri has it, gets it out in front. You can see that Komarov's all alone. The reason he's all alone is because Beauvillier doesn't have a stick, and the Islanders lose Nylander in the process. Nobody has Nylander, and Greiss gets a part of it, but it still deflects into the net.
14th goal of the season for William Nylander, who had a hat trick on Saturday. 5 goals for the Maple Leafs by 5 different rookies. First time in franchise history that has ever happened. And with shades of Saturday night against Carolina, a broken stick leads to a goal that makes it 5-4 for the opposition. But the Islanders have 2 minutes left to potentially retie this one up. Rolls to the front. Leddy keeps it in. Boychuk at the right point. Snaps one. That one pinballs around. Tavares digging at it. He jams at it. Anderson able to keep it out.
So close. So much tenacity. Johnny Boychuk able to get that puck towards the net. Anderson juggled it for a while, and then Tavares went to work. A little frustration on his face. But watch the guys go to the net. There's a loose puck. Hazen, what a glove save there by Anderson as he stays with it. He keeps with it. Doesn't give up on it. Puts himself in position to make a save, and Tavares just can't get it out of the trapper of Anderson.
Inches away from tying the game was John Tavares. And now a timeout will be taken by Doug Weight and the New York Islanders.
I think it's Babcock, isn't it? No, Doug Weight, you're right.
Coming up next, it's the Islanders post-game show presented by Mercedes-Benz. Hear from the players and coaches, plus get complete analysis of all the action. The Islanders post-game immediately following the action here tonight. So Doug Weight rallies the troops around him, brings out the marker board to refresh their memories, and the Islanders will throw everything they have at Frederik Andersen, who has seen 32 shots from the Islanders and has allowed 4 goals.
It's definitely been an evenly played game. I mean, both goaltenders have had to come up big at different times, and it's been a very exciting game, very entertaining game, even though the Islanders are on the wrong side of the ledger. A lot of talent on display here. Islanders, as we mentioned, just can't seem to catch a break. In fact, they've caught breaks, but it's just not the kind they want.
Islanders in danger of dropping their 3rd consecutive game, all by the score of 5-4. They fell in Detroit in regulation. They lost in overtime to Carolina, and now trying to avoid a regulation defeat here at the hands of the Maple Leafs. Bailey, Leddy, Ladd, Tavares, Lee, Strome, and an empty net for New York. Tavares to Leddy. Over for Bailey. Bailey will wind. Now shoots. Score! Andrew Ladd, and it's 5-5.
What a play that was. I don't know if that's how Doug Weight designed it, but it certainly worked extremely well. It starts with the face-off win. Tavares is able to win the face-off, and then the strength along the boards where John Tavares, I don't know if he won't get an assist here, but he's the main man on this particular play. Strong on the face-off, the Islanders get it back. Bailey over to Leddy. Eventually it's going to be back to Tavares. Watch Tavares, he just waits, patience, over to Leddy, to Bailey, and then Andrew Ladd is going to put himself in a spot to deflect the puck into the net, gets the stick down, and Josh Bailey makes the play, and the Islanders have come back yet again to tie this game up.
32 seconds is all the time they trail, 5-4, as they get it to 5 apiece. Now with 80 seconds to go, and Thomas Greiss securely back in his crease. Kuhlman digging for it. Instead, it is Van Riemsdyk. Kuhlman takes it from him, gives back for Boychuk, and now on for Nick Leddy. A minute remaining. Mitch Marner angled off by Leddy. Marner looked like he grabbed Leddy a little bit and spun him. Well, they haven't called much here tonight. They're not about to start now.
And a good little chip shot by Jason Chimera. Oh, a little miscommunication there with Riley and Anderson, who was looking to set him free.
Well, it cost his team possession. Although it took the Islanders to the neutral zone, it is New York in control of it as Pelech will send it around Tavares' direction. Slowed it up for Hickey. Wine shoots and it's blocked. This one will rocket into the seats.
Face-off will be in the offensive zone, which is a good deal for the Islanders. Offensive face-offs now become so much more important now that the defender has to put his stick down first, so it gives the offensive centerman a little bit of an advantage. We'll see what he comes out with. Doug Wade going with the Cizikas line, so he wants to ensure the point. Not that he doesn't want to win the game, but at this stage of the game, you got to make sure you keep that point. Cizikas is good on face-offs. Chimera can shoot the puck. We've seen Clutterbuck in that position score goals late in the game last year.
Zaitsev off the glass. It snuck out of the zone behind the back of Connor Brown. Works its way to Boychuk. Cranks it around the back of Anderson. Offside was called. The Cizikas had just not quite cleared the zone.
Be a face-off just outside the blue line. Well, with just 20 seconds to go, with an Islander face-off win would pretty much ensure themselves with a point. So face-off becomes important here.
Maple Leafs beat the Boston Bruins on Saturday by a score of 6-5. They lost 5-1 to St. Louis the game before that, and 6-3 in a loss in Dallas prior to that. So 4 straight games of at least 5 goals allowed. And now 10 seconds left here in regulation time. Matthews to the front. Leddy gloved it down, and it made it interesting with Hyman right next to him. But overtime required tonight as the Islanders came back down a goal in the third period to tie it and then do it again.
Really a great point for the Islanders. I mean, they had the early lead 1-0, but after that they trailed the game in its entirety, so give them a lot of points for just sticking to their game plan. No let up in their game. Thought they played a terrific hockey game. It's been a great hockey game.
It's been fun for 60 minutes. More 14th overtime game of the season, Butch. They are 2-7 in sudden death, including 6 straight losses. What has plagued them in the 3-on-3?
Well, I think a couple of different scenarios. We know what happened the other night. That was an unlucky face-off breakage of the stick, but I think overall there's times when they've been extended for too long a shift, and it's hurt them. And then other times we saw out in the West Coast trip where they had chances to score and they didn't score. So in this format, both teams are going to get chances. It's just a matter of who capitalizes on their chance.
15th overtime game of the season for the Toronto Maple Leafs. They are 4-3 in 3-on-3. Tavares trying to do it himself here with Kadri on his back, twisting and turning. Leddy to the front. The pass was behind him and nearly ricocheted in.
Kadri just refusing to let Tavares get away, and there's an odd man rush.
3-on-1. Riley shots shut down by Thomas Greiss.
New York Islanders playing aggressive hockey on the 3-on-3. They lost that battle along the boards, and they gave the Toronto Maple Leafs an excellent opportunity. Leddy plays it well, denies the pass across to Kadri, forces Riley to shoot the puck and allow his goaltender the opportunity to make the save. Leddy stays in the middle on this, slides at the last possible second. But again, Thomas Greiss was focused in on the shooter, and he comes up with a huge save.
Brock Nelson, Calvin DeHaan, Andrew Ladd. Nelson and Ladd both have goals here today. As down goes DeHaan, he knocked the stick out of the hands of Anderson. That's where the trip came from, and now the goaltender playing without one. Nelson tried to shoot it. It was blocked off the glass. Bozak lost it behind the net. Ladd quickly. DeHaan shot blocked. Here is Cizikas trying to keep it alive. Bozak juggles it. Will bring it behind the net, and then quickly turn back to the front. Anderson has left his crease to retrieve the goal stick as Mitch Marner comes on the ice and will get the puck with Chimera.
Marner got rid of it in a hurry.
Chimera stripped it away. Just picked the pocket of Zaitsev. Now the Islanders are in. Cizikas in the high slot. Tried to feed it to Hickey. Blocked up in the air, and Cizikas gloves it down. Minute and a half gone here in overtime. Cizikas for Chimera. Chimera to the front. Chimera to the backhand. And it's knocked away, but he gets it back.
Looked like Hickey was in a position to maybe get a chance.
Tavares tried to dance around Marner, who knocked it off his stick. Strome is back. It's Austin Matthews the other way. looking for some help, had to wait. It's Brown, poke check by Tavares, and then Hickey smacked it out, but couldn't connect.
Islanders got to play man on man, not get mesmerized by the puck.
Riley tried to cut to the front. He turned it over. Tavares will see what he has left here. He'll wait.
Hickey needs some rest. No gas in the tank. Went for a refill.
Islanders are 19 and 18 in regulation, but 3 and 10 after 60 minutes. Leddy cruising down the right side. Leddy! Prince lost it! Tavares' follow-up couldn't find it. Now it's Hyman trying to speed ahead. Hyman caught by Shane Prince. And offside is the call. However, the Islanders were controlling the puck. Confused by the timing of the whistle and frustrated, no doubt, by the guys in blue.
It looked like the puck came out and went back in, and Toronto touched it as Prince was coming back hard on the back check. What a tremendous move by Leddy. You talk about turning the engines on. Leddy all the way, and Prince right in between the 5-hole. That's the worst place in the world that the pass could have ended up. If it ends up on his backhand, he could backhand it. Ends up on his forehand, he's got a chance. Ended up right between the two legs. All you can do is try to handle it.
We played half of overtime. DeHaan got away with it. Here's Nelson, Bailey, and DeHaan. Brock Nelson scores! Second goal of the game for Brock Nelson and the Islanders with a 6-5 win.
Now, if you're looking for something to turn your season around or to get some momentum going, this is the kind of win that can really lift the spirits of the Islanders. You mentioned it, Brendan, a tough weekend, no breaks going in their direction. The Islanders find a way to win a hockey game, and they win it in overtime. They haven't come from behind in the entire season to win a hockey game. They do that. And then what a tremendous play as the Islanders capitalize on man rush, oddly enough.
The play of the game is brought to you by Buick. Experience the new Buick for yourself at your local tri-state Buick dealer.
Brock Nelson, a little chip play by Bailey. Brock Nelson shooting all the way. You can bet your bottom dollar that's going to happen. Bailey was the decoy, but Bailey's the one that got the pass away, and a perfect shot over the blocker side of Anderson. And what a win for the New York Islanders.
2 goals and an assist for Brock Nelson as the Islanders put up 6 against the visiting Toronto Maple Leafs and came from behind multiple times in this one. They trailed 4-3 at the start of the third period. Bailey and Ladd scoring game-tying goals in the third, and then Brock Nelson, your game winner, the third Islander to score an overtime game winner this season.
Yeah, you could see he was watching to see what Gardner was going to do. He knew he had Bailey there. He knew he had time, and you talk about excitement. Talked about Doug Wade having emotion on the bench. Well, there's a lot of emotion going on there, and as I said, I think this is the type of game that could turn that season around for the Islanders, certainly give them momentum that they need to try and push for the playoffs, albeit there's a lot of hockey left to play, but these type of wins can have a huge impact on your season.
The Stars of the Game is brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers on the web at searchmercedes.com. Ryan Strome's the number 2 star. Morgan Riley was number 3. Any guesses as to number 1 tonight?
Yeah.
2 goals, an assist, the game winner for Brock Nelson.
And more importantly, the fact that Brock Nelson's on track. We talked